the bankers. The first B was for bureaucrats. So Robert said the bankers were created to protect our money from the bandits. This is Mr. Bandit right here. Now, Robert, point number 2, asked, what if that bankers, those bank firms, were the bandit? Number 3, the bankers, they do not have to put their own hands into our own pocket. In fact, what we do is it is our own hands that give the money to the bankers. We take our own money from our own hands and we give our money to the bank. Point number 5, New York Governor Eliot Spitzer, when he was the New York Attorney General, he investigated the bankers, the investment bank firms, the large mutual fund companies, and they found out that they were guilty of illegal practices. So the firms, they found out that the firms were skimming a little bit more of money. Therefore, they were fined a trivial amount of money, more than the money that they took. Point number 6, Robert said that what they found out was disturbing, because despite the size of the fines, these firms are still in business up to present. And the problem is limited to the investment firms in New York City, when the problem of these bankers taking the money from innocent customers is happening worldwide. It's global. Point number 8, as more businesses do not care for their workers, for their employees, more workers have to save money. They have to save money for their retirement. Point number 9, the employees, the workers are not able to hire financial services. The employees do not have the funds, do not have the money to hire the financial services like big businesses do. So then that leads to a pool, a lot of money, a pool of financial naive money to grow like a hot air balloon. So then that leaves the bankers and the people who sell financial services to grow richer and richer. Point number 11 from the book. The employees, the workers, their retirement fund is fueling the global boom. There is a boom. There's a lot of money in their retirement fund. So point number 12, the retirement fund represents an ocean of money, unprecedented in world history. But then this is not guarded by us. It is guarded, protected by the bankers. So that's lesson number 2. And that is why it is very important that we increase our financial education, we increase our financial knowledge, because why? We need to protect our own money. We cannot just hand our money to the bank, because they are the ones who are growing richer and richer. Because why? They know how to grow our own money, and they're just giving us a portion of the interest, and they have more of the interest. The difference of growing that money, they gave us a little bit, and the rest of it goes to them. And that's why they grow richer and richer. So that's my lesson for today. I hope you learned something. So stay tuned for more Alka and Ria show.
Thank you, Ria. That was, wow. Yeah, that was just amazing. Friends, I took notes down, and I hope you took notes, and I hope each and every time you are taking notes, because that is where the implementation is going to happen. What you hear, you need to implement, take action on those steps. But Ria, thank you for sharing that. I do have a comment. What if, bankers, the banks, we know that, the money that when we invest our money in the bank, we may get 0.1%, which is nothing, which is, peanuts. But, they are bandits. They are bandits because they take our money, they deploy it somewhere else, and they're always continuously doing that.
Yes, so that is why it is very important for us to have that financial education. And by staying tuned into our show, we're providing that financial education to our viewers, to our listeners, because it is only us, right? We take the accountability. We, our own White House, can change our own financial situation. We cannot rely on the government. We cannot rely on the bank to change our financial status. It is our financial education, our knowledge, to increase that knowledge so that we know how to grow and deploy that money. We cannot just hand it over to other people, to the banks or to the financial services, to the large mutual funds, and say, hey, this is the money, grow at 20x. We cannot depend on that. We have to rely on our own White House, on our own selves.
Absolutely, 100%, friends. So you heard it right there. We need to be in control of our lives. We need to be in control of every aspect. When it comes to the household, when it comes to money, what are we doing with the money? Like, are we just, from our job, when we get the money, when we get the paycheck, do we just, spend it unwisely onto other things that that are just not as important? For example, some people might just occasionally want to just go to casino, they gamble, but then that is not the surefire way, because gambling, casinos, again, they are a big institution. They know, and they get us sucked in, right?
They're big bandits.
They're bandits, yes, indirect bandits. But they get us sucked in, just like, you go to the casino in Vegas. That's a prime example. You go to casino, we go to casino in Vegas, and they, it is heavily, what is that air fume that comes down, Maria? With that fume, because that is not masking, that like an air conditioner.
Yes,
fume
they make it look nice. They entice you to come in so that you take your money from your own pocket and you give it to them by putting in those coins, right? Coins, you never know, those coin leads to 100 bills, 200, 300.
Exactly. You just never know. And so when you're there, I'm just giving this prime example because it is an example, and it's an example whether it's a casino or anywhere else. So in the casinos, especially in Vegas, they with these fumes, and you don't even know, like, if it's day or night. You could be in the casino your whole day, right? You could be there the whole day, and little by little, surely by surely, your money is just being depleted, and you don't even know, because indirectly, people in the casinos, the crew, they are watching, and they know exactly as to what you're doing, and they will take your money. They will just indirectly, right, Ria? They will take your money, and you won't even know it. We won't even know as to where the money is gone. So gambling, casinos, do not do that. When you get your paycheck, rather invest it, put it, even in the banks, like, Ria just said, the bankers, they know how. They are bandits, and they will just take your money, deploy it somewhere else, and we won't even know.
They deploy it to people like us. They lend it to investors. Why? Because the money we put in there is a liability on their part. But if they lend it to us, then that money becomes an asset, because they give us a certain interest that we have to pay the banks. So yes, we as customers, they give us 0.01% interest, but then when they lend it out, the liabilities, they lend those money out, they charge anywhere from 3-6%. It depends on your credit score. It depends on how long you want to borrow the money. So they charge a higher interest rate, and therefore they're growing your money, which you just put into the bank,